All right, welcome back. Episode 28, Town Sports Podcast. We got Stephen on right now. Jack might be joining us later. Never really know with him, but he might be joining. But we're doing AL East fantasy draft and maybe AL Central too. We're doing so top 5 free agents from any you can pick from any team in the AL East, and I have first pick, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Justin Turner. He was he was
Bro, that's who I was gonna take.
he was balling last year. He was so underrated the whole season. He had
Mhm.
a crazy plate approach, helped totally turn like the Red Sox not hitting vibe, but like I guess hitting approach around. Um Great clubhouse guy. He had good power too. He had 23 homers and 96 RBIs, and his counting numbers and just like all his numbers got tanked because he tried playing through a bone bruise in his heel like the last month of the season. It's just an absolute warrior, and it tanked his numbers, but such a gritty guy, and off the field too, like just a just a guy you want on the team and
Mm.
in the clubhouse in the community. um so yeah, I'm going Justin Turner, first overall pick.
Valid, valid, valid. I was gonna take him. Oh, gotta pivot now. Okay. So, I felt like Justin Turner was definitely the best hitter off the board. I'm gonna go to a guy who had some ups and downs last season, but if it wasn't for him struggling at the end of last season, he would have been, he would have been a very solid player. And that guy's Matt Chapman. I think that his defense alone, he is definitely the best defensive third baseman in the league, even over a guy like Nolan Arenado. And
Mm-hmm.
he still hit about league average in terms of average. He's gonna hit you 20 bombs like every season. He has a little bit of speed that he can use. And he's usually above league average on OPS numbers. And he's a very reliable guy in terms of health and all that.
Yeah, it's a solid pick. um i'm going um I'm going north of the border, or south of the US, or no, south in the US and north of the border. I'm going Kevin Kiermaier. Definitely had probably his best offensive season last year. He was above 100 on WRC plus. He was a little more disciplined, and walk rate went up a little bit. I know he is in his mid 30s, but and some of the peripheral numbers for hitting don't look great, but he was still above average. But why you want Kevin Kiermaier? It's the elite base running, uh, 87th percentile for sprint speed, and the best glove in the league in center field. He's probably a 1 year deal type guy, not too expensive. And I don't know, just like great like role player for a playoff or championship team.
Mm, all right. I think I'm gonna go with. I think I might have to go to a Red Sox here and another righty power bat. Adam Duvall quietly had a really good season. He hit 21 home runs despite only getting over a little bit over 300 at bats. And he hit about league average in terms of average and was way over league average in OPS. And on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, he's not like the league's best defender, but I'd consider him pretty decent. Maybe not as a center fielder, but as a corner outfielder, he's a pretty decent corner outfielder. He doesn't have a lot of range, but he has a solid arm, solid glove. So he can get the job done in the outfield. And he provides a lot of power.
Yeah, that's a valid pick. He could have just had like a monster season had he not broken his wrist
Yeah.
diving for the ball field early in the season.
Mm.
Um, All right, for my third pick, Steven, you want to do me a favor? Look up Robert Stevenson baseball savant and tell me what you see.
Bruh. Oh Lord, what am I about to open up?
You on it yet?
Yeah.
Dude, look at those percentiles. Bro, Robert Stevenson, I do not know how he has not been signed yet. I thought the Phillies should have got him to be their closer. He is so gross. And it's not just like, holy shit, he has crazy peripheral numbers and great stuff. Like, you watch him, the side to side movement is insane. His cutter plays like up in the zone, low in the zone, low and out of the zone. The four seam plays everywhere too. He just has such great stuff that he can throw it in the zone and get whiffs. He has great command. Um, he doesn't allow that much hard contact. I really want the Red Sox to get him because he was like, once he got to the Rays, he was just one of the best relievers in baseball. I can't believe he hasn't been signed to like a 2-year deal yet. I was surprised that Yuki Matsui got 4 years and Robert Stevenson has not been signed. So, I'm sorry, but I just had to swipe him with my third pick.
All right. Um, I don't really like the hitters left on the board, so I think I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna have to go into the pitching department. So,
Oh,
I'm gonna go with the guy that really like. If you're talking about from a pure like statistic perspective, he doesn't look all that good, but he has a lot of potential. And that's a guy who's one of the hardest throwers in the league, and that's former Toronto Blue Jay Jordan Hicks. Um,
oof.
I think that he has a lot of potential. He's one of the hardest throwers, if not the hardest thrower in the MLB. I mean, he just throws the cover off the baseball, and his statistics, like he's had an up and down like career. Like his first 2 seasons in St. Louis, he had like a 3.5 and a 3.1 ERA, which is both he had two really good seasons, and those were the first 2 seasons of his MLB career. And he picked up some saves in there as well. And I mean, even last year for the Blue Jays, he was really good for Blue Jays. He had a 2.6 ERA. And he was sort of in a pseudo closer setup role. He had like 7 holds and 4 saves. I mean, he has the potential. He had with the Blue Jays, like he clearly unlocked something because his statistics are so much better. And I think that, you know, there's a lot of like unluckiness and just hard hits with him because if you look at his like opponent batting average and whip, his like whip and opposing batting average numbers are really good. It's just, whether he gets unlucky or whether he gets hit hard, but I feel like he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think if he went to like the Rays or something or the Dodgers, it's just
Yeah.
like 70 innings, 0.38 ERA or something. Like it's crazy. All right, so I see you hopped on the reliever train, but
Yeah, of course.
common theme, I will be one move ahead of you at all times in this draft. Give me Brandon Belt. He was such a glue guy for the Blue Jays last year. Um, that lineup was a lot worse than people expected, and I did not think that it would be held together by Brandon Belt. But in like 104 games, he was crazy. He had a 15.1 walk percentage, 138 WRC plus, 19 home runs. He gets crazy lift on the ball. He's still a good defender at first. And I don't know, another guy like the Yankees have been crowding up the position player pool on their team. I don't know why they haven't gone for Brandon Belt. He would destroy the short porch there, and like just for any team, really. I mean, his power will play anywhere. His barrel numbers, sweet spot, walk, whatever, they'll play anywhere with how good he is at them. And just a guy like, I'm thinking maybe a team like the Orioles or something should really use him because, I mean, they have a pretty short right field. And that's a team that a lot of people have been saying needs just like veteran voices, not taking away anything from their clubhouse, but they're all just really young. So maybe a team like that, or the Mariners, who are still looking for some hitting, I think would be a great fit. But
Mhm.
dude, Belt is just a dog hanging out on the free agent market.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a really big piece. Good veteran presence, and a good lefty bat to have, especially against righties. I think that Belt would be
Yeah,
very helpful to a team searching for an extra power bat to help them put them over the hump.
yeah,
So
more
I'm
of like
gonna
a
go.
platoon guy, but more of like a platoon guy at this stage,
Yeah, like
probably.
hits against righties. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking too.
yeah.
So going back into the pitching pool, um, I'm gonna go to a guy that really has been around for a while, but hasn't really gotten any sort of recognition. Um, and he currently, or he just finished his stint with the New York Yankees. His name is Wandy Peralta, and I mean, yeah, yeah. I saw him. I saw him. Uh, and ever since coming to New York, he has had an under 2 ERA, under 3 ERA in each of his 3 seasons. In 2021, 2.95, 2022, 2.72, and in 2023, he had a 2.83. Um, and I mean, his whip numbers are really good again. He has, you know, he might not be, throwing the cover off the ball like a guy like Jordan Hicks, but he's a lefty. So, I mean, lefties are a hot commodity in today's baseball. And I mean, he's not throwing the cover off the ball like Jordan Hicks, but he's not slow either. He throws like mid 90s. So, I mean, a lefty with a little bit of juice is something that playoff team needs. And yeah,
Yeah, Wandy's changeup is also just like nasty, and like this,
yeah.
like you watch, like the stats also back it up.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be like too expensive.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of wanted to snag him with a fifth, but something caught my eye, a little reclamation or maybe not even a
Oh,
reclamation project, but because he was still good in his limited time last year. Talking
mhm.
Hinge you, low on the older side. He's coming off that big contract he signed with the Blue Jays. He's 36, but when he came back from injury last year, he was still really good. 11 games, 3.46 ERA. Um, I feel like a reunion with the Dodgers could definitely happen. The FIP was not great, 4.91. That's gonna happen with a guy who's a control and ground ball, like weak contact guy who hasn't pitched in a while. It's gonna be a little rusty, but I
Mhm.
mean, he has a lot to work with. A lot of different pitches. He's always been a command guy. His cutter plays in the zone. Um, he can get um he can get hit around sometimes just because the whiff profile isn't really there, especially at this stage. But I mean, I feel, or actually, I feel like people forgot like how good this guy has been. His last sort of full season, I guess, was 2021, and he was really good, 169 innings. Um, Fifth was a 4.37. Just not going to be expensive. He's definitely in the bargain bin. I feel like I haven't heard him being linked anywhere, and could definitely be an above average five starter for many
Mhm.
teams.
Yeah. I think Hunter Ryu brings a lot of experience, and he's been around a lot of winning programs. I mean, way back when he was with the Dodgers, uh, he had a stint with the Twins as well. So I mean, he brings
And
the. Hmm?
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say also he also was on that, I guess, kind of fake that like 2020 Blue Jays playoff team.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, he's seen his fair amount of like playoff runs. So I think he's a good innings eater when he's healthy, veteran presence. So yeah, good pick.
Mm.
Um okay, I'm kinda scraping the bottom of the barrel here now. Um all right. Uh so last pick in the draft. I'm gonna go with Whit Merrifield. I think that he would be um a solid second baseman for whoever snags him up. 26 stolen bases last year, above league average in the average department. He's not going to hit a lot of bombs, but and he's going to be below league average and like slugging and stuff like that. So he's not going to be big hitter, but he is going to provide a lot of range and defense and speed for whatever team he signs with. He's a veteran presence. He's been around the block with multiple teams. He's, you know, he's, yeah, I think he's just going to be a solid sign, and maybe even someone like the Red Sox could pick him up for not that much.
Yeah. I feel like Witt's gonna be one of the last guys picked up in free agency, but I feel like he'd just be the last piece on like a really good playoff team.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're gonna get, like it's low ceiling offensively, but I mean basically league average bat, maybe a little worse, but solid defense, versatility, steals bags, like that's important. It's not gonna get him a ton of money at this stage in his career, but definitely a solid player on for a team that just kind of needs that last like glue guy for the lineup.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that does it for the AL East free agent draft, and we'll take a break and be back in a bit.